Hello and welcome back to my channel. I know this outfit looks a bit familiar. It's the same thing I was wearing in the last video because I just finished filming that. And I mentioned that I am starting a TBR jar. I'm so excited. I have been putting off doing this for the longest time because I was so back and forth as to whether or not I feel like I should put in the effort to commit to doing a TBR jar because I am such a mood reader that picking something out of the jar, I'm like, I don't feel like I'll be in the mood for it. I won't want to do it. So I'm just gonna try it. I'm gonna commit to it. I think it'll be fun. And if it doesn't work out, okay, I spent some money on some paper. So, and that was the only supplies I needed. I got this 50 sheet of construction paper. I did the premium heavyweight because they had the Crayola ones, but those were like really flimsy and I didn't like it. So I got these ones. These were a bit more expensive, but they're a bit more heavyweight. And I feel like it holds up well. And I've already got my categories planned out. So I'll go through the sheet. Brown is going to be historical fiction. Yellow is literary fiction / general fiction. Red is romance. Light blue is fantasy romance. Purple is YA / middle grade. Orange is manga and graphic novels. The darker blue is fantasy and sci-fi. Green is thrillers, mysteries, horrors. And white is going to be classics and nonfiction. So I've got everything all planned out. I mean, I've got the paper. I don't have the jar yet, so I need to go figure that out. I don't know if I'm gonna need like a really big jar because I do have a lot of books. So I may need something like decent sized to get everything to fit. But I think the hardest part of this is going to be writing all of these down because I have a feeling my hand's gonna start to hurt. So this may or may not be a 2-day project. We'll see. It's already getting later in the day, but I may still pop out and see if I can find something today or tomorrow. But I think we'll just get right in to writing all the books down, and I will chit chat with you once I get through that feat because that's gonna take me a bit, as we can see. Hello, first time for a little update into how far I've gotten. So I started cutting out the first sheet. I've got all my little strips here. I've still got the rest of the sheet, and this was the longer sheet. This was my fantasy sheet. And surprisingly, this wasn't as many as I thought it would be. I used 1 page for each, and some of them I only had half a page. I don't know why I felt like I had so much more than I did, because even my fantasy page ended up only being 1 singular page. I was definitely overestimating the amount of stuff I'd have to put on. Granted, I will say I think I wrote small and I kept like each row pretty thin, so that probably helped. Maybe if I wrote bigger, it would have been across more pages. But I've written everything down. I think I got everything think like I've mentioned, I only did the first in a series, or if it's like a companion, I just did that first one, and then if I read that book, I'll add the next one in after. So it's been good. Now I just have to cut these up, and then I also need to get a jar. I currently don't have one. I feel like I kind of want a cute one, and now I think I could probably get like a small one. I thought I was gonna have to get like a really big jar. Like, I don't know if you guys watch Books with Emily Fox. She has a TBR jar and it's massive. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna probably have to do something like that because I have a lot of books. But I think I can keep these small enough that I could probably do something of like moderate size. So I don't know where I can get a good jar. Like, I feel like I'd have to go to like, there's a Burlington. Do they have jars at Burlington? I don't think so. I tried TJ Maxx. They definitely would have something. I need a good jar place. But that's the steps for next. That's what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna finish cutting all of these up and getting them all cubed up, and then I'll probably just put them in like a temporary jar for now until I can find a cute jar, but then we'll have everything in there. Actually, I'm so proud of this. I was putting this off for the longest time because I was back and forth on whether or not I wanted to do it, and I'm glad I did because I feel like this will be fun. As much as I think I'm probably not gonna stick to it, I still think this will be fun. And if I go slow, if I do like one at a time, I think I can make my way slowly but surely through all of these. And I feel like I want to try and prioritize getting through my physical TBR. It took me a second to remember what I was going to say, but I want to prioritize getting through my physical TBR, and I think this will help and this will be fun. And you know, I can do it here, I can do it on my TikTok, and I feel like having that will really motivate me to kind of stick to it and get through it faster. But anyways, that's all I needed to update you on. You saw me get all the names for everything. I used every single color. I doubled up on some, but pretty much everything fit within all of these categories. And then if something was like in between, I just picked one. I don't think it's really that deep, but we've got everything in there. And hold on, let me show you from the other side so you can see the words. Like, this is only half full. This one barely had the top done. This one barely had anything. I was honestly surprised this was so short. I'm not surprised, but I am surprised it was so short. The manga page is pretty short. YA was only half a page. This one was the second longest, which I'm not too surprised about. This one was pretty long. And then, yeah, romance was the next one. But obviously the two longest ones were romance and fantasy, which I saw coming. But yeah, I'll finish cutting these up, and then we'll chit chat later after I maybe go find a jar somewhere. I completely forgot that I wanted to give you an update on my book, which is The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. It's not blind you. This is my book club pick for the month. We're supposed to be meeting end of the month. I'm already halfway through the month, so I figured I'd get started on it. I've been listening to it on audio, as you saw. And I have tried to read this book before. I checked it out a couple years ago from the library, actually, and I never ended up finishing it, so I sent it back to the library. And funny story about that, I was using my friend's wedding invite as a bookmark when I was reading it, and I forgot to take it out when I returned it to the library, so I left it in there. And then I went back like 3 weeks later, and the invite was still in the book, so I just popped it off the shelf, took the invite out, and left. And I was so surprised it was still in there, because I could have sworn like someone else probably checked it out, someone else probably took it, but I found it, thank God, because I don't think I'd RSVP'd by then either. But anyways, I am getting through this. I am 273 pages, so like, what do you think that is, like 60% of the way through this book right now, and I am enjoying it. I feel like we're learning things, but nothing like too crazy has happened yet. It's definitely fun. I don't think I gave you the premise, but this is basically, it's kind of like Sherlock Holmes, but like they're set at sea, and Sherlock is locked up in the brig, and Holmes is like on his own trying to figure out the mystery. And we've also got like maybe demons involved somehow, which I'm not mad at. That sounds definitely interesting. It's adding something to the story, but I don't know where we go from here, because we kind of uncovered, because the kind of the mystery is like who this demon is, and then who's like involved with the demon, and we've already kind of discovered that at this 50% mark, but I'm assuming there's going to be a little bit more mayhem involved with this demon. And then in the past of our main character, Errant, who when I was reading it physically I was calling him Arndt, but Errant, because I guess somehow he is connected to this demon as well. I don't know, it's interesting. I'm not like loving it, I'm not hating it. It's definitely interesting enough to continue, and obviously I'll finish it because I got book club and I need to finish it. But it's a solid if I was gonna rate it right now, I'd probably get like a 3.5, 3.75. So we'll see how the ending goes. Let's see how this pops up. I know this is the author of The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I have to think so hard about that title because I always want to say The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hugo. But he's the author of The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. And I haven't read that either. I do know, I've heard it was good. Like the year that it came out, everyone was really, really into it. So who knows, if I like this, maybe I'll give that a try. And I know he had a new book like a year or two ago that also came out that seemed interesting. So we'll see. This book is a solid okay. Hopefully it gets better. I'll try and probably give you an update on the end of this, but by the end of this video. I'm going to try and finish it. I think I can finish up the audiobook for the end of this video so you can get my full thoughts, so I'm not leaving you on a cliffhanger. But that's my thoughts as of right now. There's not really much to say. Nothing too crazy has happened, but it's been good. It's been fun. Hopefully it gets better. Alright, I have gotten all of the papers cut into strips. As you saw, my hand hurts so much. I don't know what it is, like these scissors trying to, oh my god, like it's hurting my hand, like especially like the center part of my hand. But they are all cut, and now I'm not going to cut them lengthwise and like cut them where each title is until I have like a jar to put them in. I may have something, let me see. I have an option. I have this thing. This thing's massive though. Yeah, I don't want to use this because I was like, I could do this, but it's gigantic. Now that I've picked it up, it is massive. Like, is there some sort of other, I don't know. I want something, but I also like want something clear. I have this, but I use this for my liquid IV. But I could put in something else. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll use this because this is like cute enough for a TBR jar, and then I'll just put my liquid IV in something else. I think this is what I'm gonna do for now because I just like, I don't feel like leaving, even though like I'm dressed and I got fully dressed today, not even just to film, but like to actually leave because I had plans to leave. And now I'm like, I'm good. So I think I'm gonna use this because I feel like this is a good size. If anything, this is still too big. Anyways, I'm gonna put it in this, and then if I think it's too big, I'll get something else tomorrow that's smaller, and then I'll just put my liquid IVs back in this afterwards. But let's start cutting these up and putting them in this little bitch. We've got the full jar. Isn't it looking great? Got everything mixed up in here. I still think I could probably do a smaller jar, but I think it came out really well. I folded all of these teeny tiny pieces of paper. It took, I'm not gonna say it took forever because I probably started at what, like noon, 1-ish, and I had some breaks in between. I did some editing. It's now 6:30, so it took a little bit. My hands are a little sore, especially my right hand, with all the cutting and the writing. But we've got our TBR jar. I will still probably go out tomorrow, see if I can find a smaller jar. But other than that, I think this turned out really well. I feel like this is so cute, and this is going to be such a fun experiment. And I loved that I color-coded everything because I thought about just doing like TBR prompts and then going from there so I could still have like some kind of say in like the books I pick. But I feel like this at least helps me focus on the books that I own and getting through those and just reading those. Because a lot of times if I do TBR prompts, I'll be like, oh, what if I do this like new release? What if I do this other thing? This one, it's specific to what I have, to what I own. And to be honest, this is not that much. Actually, I should probably count these and see how much is on my physical TBR. But it's still short some because I didn't put anything that was like the second in a series or the third in a series. Granted, I don't feel like I own that many series, full series, or like multiple books in a series that I haven't started. I own some, but not as much as I feel like I do. It'd probably add like 20 maybe to it, if that, 20 or 30. But this was a day well spent, and I love this. I'm gonna see if I can go get a smaller jar tomorrow, and then after that we may decorate the jar. So I will be back with you when we have our final iteration of what the jar will be. Okay, so I just counted all of the tabs in here, and apparently I severely underestimated how many little papers could fit in this, because there's 561. 561. I really thought, like, I'm dead. I was like, oh, it's probably like 200, 300. 561. That's insane. That's insanity. And here's the thing, though. I feel like I need to like go through and count how many books I have total and then like average it out. But that may be for another day because I'm not trying to see. I know it's not high because here's the thing. I do read a lot. Like, I read 170 books last year. I'm on track to read like 150 this year. I read a lot. I get through a lot of books. And I know this, I'm not reading a lot of what I own. So, I am using my library. I'm using Kindle Unlimited, but I am buying books and bringing them into my house and then not reading them. I need to do that. I will say I own a lot of duplicate copies as well, so that kind of helps me. But like, holy shit, 561 in this jar. That's actually insane. That's actually so batshit. I really didn't think it was that bad. But you know what? That's why we have the TBR jar. We're gonna nip this in the bud. We're gonna get our shit together and we're gonna start reading through this physical TBR. I'm already halfway through the year, so I feel like I can't even like start a like goal to get this down to like a certain number. I was gonna be like, realistically, I should have like a goal of like getting through 100. I mean, that should be realistic because like reading 100 of the books I own and then like 50 or so I don't own. That's probably what I do. But am I gonna do that? No. Let's be realistic here, people. No, this is insanity. I'm like low-key embarrassed that it's that high. But now we know, and now we can do better. We can make it work. I am gonna get this down. Who knows, maybe I'll do some more unhauling. There's nothing off the top of my head I think I want to unhaul, but give it a couple months, I'll probably unhaul something else. Oh my god. And like I said, this is still not technically the full number because I only put the first book or whatever book I'm on in a series. I didn't put all the books I need to read. So there's still probably like a good 50 to maybe 100 we could add into this. This is actually insane. Anyways, we'll talk when I finalize the jar. I need to go sit and think about this massive ass number of 561 unread books. I need to sit with that for a minute. All right, guys, time for my final update of this video. It's like a week later, so I figured we'd wrap this up. First up, I figured I'd tell you my final thoughts on the book, and I gave this 3 stars. Like I said at that point, it was fine, and I think it just kind of kept being fine. It's the point where like it was kind of boring, and someone even wrote in their review when I was looking at it, they DNF'd it at like 40%, and they're like, how is this a murder mystery and there's been no murder at that point in the book? Yeah, and I don't know, all of the other stuff that was going on with this like demon, I didn't like that. I wasn't enjoying it. I think I would have preferred this because it was kind of pitched to me as like, oh, it's Sherlock Holmes set at sea, but Sherlock is locked in the brig, so Holmes is kind of on his own trying to figure stuff out. Obviously that's not our characters. It's Errant, who's the Holmes character, and Samuel Pepys, who's the like Sherlock character. And I was like, I probably would have preferred it if it was more Sherlock and Holmes together and like finding all these clues and like seeing all these little things together. But then we got to the ending, and I don't want to say much because obviously like this is a mystery, and I see why things were done the way they were done. So I gave it 3 stars because every time I was gonna give it 2 because I was bored as hell. But the ending really did bring it back for me. So I'm giving it 3 stars. Granted, none of that stuff really happened until like literally like here. So the rest of this was kind of boring. But like a lot of the reveals that we got here, those were good. Those were very good. So I gave it 3 stars. And if anything, the way this one ended, I know this is a standalone, but like if there was a sequel, I'd read it. So as much as I was kind of bored throughout this, I did really enjoy how it ended. So I'm giving it a 3-star overall. I did have a good time with this. I have seen from other people that they like his other book, the seven and a half deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, more. So I still might give that one a shot, but this was a solidly boring book with a good ending. And now for the update on the TBR jar. As you can see, I have not switched out the jar nor have I decorated or anything, but I have these stickers that I bought recently when I bought a bunch of bookmarks. Some of them I got from Divine Variety and then Allie Rose Co. off of TikTok. So I have a bunch of these stickers. This one says, women's rights are human rights, manifest that shit, hot girls read, more self-love, another hot girls read, and then this one says, kind people are my kind of people. So I was thinking about like maybe putting these like around the jar, but I don't know. I feel like when it comes to stickers, I have like such a fear of commitment because I'm like, oh, what if I put it down and I hate it? So I'm still deciding if I want to decorate the jar, and then I'm also like, but it'll block out seeing the jar. So I'm like, maybe I should just keep it clear so that you can like really see what's going on inside the jar. And then also I've decided I do really like the size because I think trying to, you know, mix them around and like pick something, it gives me space to do that. So I think I am going to stick with this jar. I do really like it, but I have already established the rules that I'm going to enact with this TBR jar. So the first rule is that because I do want to get through my physical TBR obviously and bring that number down from the astronomical number it's at, I have to read at least 5 books out of this before I can purchase another book. And then if I have not read 5 books, but like I just really want to buy something, I then have to unhaul something. So we're getting rid of stuff either way. It's not going to add, it's not going to take away, but I have to at least unhaul something if I don't stick to the 5 out of here. And then also I have decided when I pick something, so say I pick something out of here and I see that it's brown, which is historical fiction. If I'm like, oh, I'm not in the mood for historical fiction, I can put it back. I can just pop it back in here. As long as I don't open it and see what the book is, I'm allowed to throw it back in. I want to force myself to do this, but still give myself some leeway to be a mood reader and kind of go with how I'm feeling. So that's kind of what I'm going with. And then who knows, sometimes I may just be like, you know what, I'm in the mood for a fantasy. I'm just going to pick something, boom, right at the top. So I can do that as well. But those are, I think, the 2 rules I have right now. I don't think I have any other rules set. If you think I should add some more rules, if there's something you think I could do to like really get myself to stick to this, let me know. But I think as of right now, those are the rules I'm sticking with. And I feel like they're pretty straightforward, that I have to at least read 5 to buy something else. And then I still get some control over what I pick out of the jar, hopefully. And then another rule, if I pick something, I read it and I'm like, I have zero desire to read that, I'm not doing it, I'm unhauling it. It's gotta go. Nothing goes back in. Once I see it and I have to either read it or unhaul it, that's what's happening. I am allowed to soft DNF something if I pick it up and I'm just like, I know I could really like this, it's just I'm not in the mood right now, it's not happening. I can soft DNF it at that point, but if I pick it up and I say, nope, not willing to give it a chance, she's gotta go. So I think that is everything that needed to be covered with this jar. I'm very excited to finally start using this. I thought this was so much fun and I love just like looking at this. I've been loving just kind of like sticking my hand and like picking random things out. So I definitely may start a series on this channel of me reading through my TBR jar. I might start on my TikTok, I don't know, we'll see. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you for coming along with me and supporting me doing all of this and giving myself carpal tunnel trying to write and cut all of these out. But please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.